In this video, I'm going to show you how you can trim off pieces or trim off vectors in order to make them match up. Okay, so if I were to try to machine this, it wouldn't really work as one piece because the program wouldn't actually know where to go because you can't have any intersections. So any vectors that are overlapping each other, it won't really know where to go. So that's why you have problems. So that's why you need to trim things off. Or it might just be a design thing where you just want to design something and you don't want to have it looking like this. So if I zoom in, you can see that I've got these two stars and they're overlapping each other. Now, there is a really easy way to do this, but I'll come on to that later, and it's called using the weld tool. But I'm going to show you how you can trim these off manually. Now, to do this, it's really easy. Come over to the left-hand side here to trim vectors. So you get this pair of scissors. So if I select that, open it up, you can see that the cursor then changes to a pair of scissors. Okay, and then if I hover over an area that I want to basically get rid of, the scissors open up. Okay, so if I click on it, then it trims it off. And I can click on here and that trims that off. Okay, and it's automatically trimmed. Now, the trim tool has an option to automatically join, which is over on the top here. So if I close that now and just take a look at this, so if I select it, you can see that that is one vector and that's another vector. Okay, so I've got two completely different vectors here. This may cause issues when I come to machining. Okay, so let's say, for instance, if I wanted to create an area clearance or a pocket or a recess in here, it wouldn't be able to do it because I've got two vectors that are not closed. So I need this to be one closed vector. Okay. Now, if I were to undo this and then go back to the trim tool and this time turn on auto join and then trim them off, and then let's close it and click on it, it automatically joins this up for me. Okay, which saves you having to go into the tool to join parts up. Okay, now one thing to bear in mind when using the trimming tool is that a line or a vector has to be going over the top of another one. It has to intersect it. So if I were to say have something like this, let's just zoom out so you can see this. So let's say there I've got this line, and then let's say there I've got a line. Okay, now if I were to try to trim this off, it wouldn't work because this line isn't going through this line here. Okay, so if I were to try to trim that and I select it, it's just going to get rid of it because it's not got anything to work to. Okay, it hasn't got a constraint. So if, let's say, for instance, I close that but draw a line that's like that, now this will work either side of this because it's going through that vertical line. So if I go to trim and then hover over there, it will trim it back to this line. Or if I trim this side, it will trim it back to this line. So if I click there, it trims it back to this line. Okay, so that's how the trim tool works.